Alright, so this video might contain some spoilers for the old Swordsmith Village arc or just the manga in general. Okay, so episode 6 called Aren't You Going to Become a Ashira has been a really good episode in terms of adaptation. So this episode covered around 2.5 chapters from the manga, which is not a lot, but there was a lot of dialogue and backstory, so it kind of makes sense. The episode basically starts with all the clones basically in pain and they can't regenerate fast because of Tanjiro's last attack last episode, and the old dialogue of Tanjiro wondering how they can beat them and him basically cutting the rubble so that Nezuko can be free, exactly as in the manga. And I do love how his sword look with the red. I thought it would be less glowing than this, but I love it. I love how it's just glowing red. It's perfect. Now this whole sequence here with Tanjiro talking about that he sends a fifth demon is amazing. And I said it in my last reviews of the previous episode that they would use this digital effect in the future, and again, already in this episode they're already using it again. And this is the best that they've used the digital effects here. It just looks amazing, and I do wonder how they're gonna utilize this type of effect in the future, maybe in the fights. I mean, they're kind of using it a little bit with Moichiro's mist, so I'm really looking forward to see what they're gonna do with that. This whole sequence with Genya talking, strangling Tanjiro basically, is exactly as in the manga. The lines that he says that he wants to be the first one to become Ashura, he wants to be the one to defeat Upper Moon 4. And I love that they did portrayed that really well from the manga, of showing like the eyes of Tanjiro being like pure innocence. Like his expression here is just like in a manga. I'm happy with it. And again, just like the previous episode, the lightning for Sekido is always amazing. I love that they're blending in the real kind of lightning digital effect. They're kind of mixing it with kind of a 2D lightning, like it's not necessarily just digital, so it's a mix between 2D and 3D, which looks just perfect. Sekido has been done justice so much in the anime, it's crazy. And his staff as well, I haven't talked about it, but it's constantly CGI, the staff, so that's pretty cool. And this scene as well with Nezuko just like hey to Genya is really cool. It's so awesome. This whole fight with the clone in this episode, there was a lot of anime only content of fighting just like this, of Genya basically shooting Urogi because Urogi tries to go after Tanjiro, but we do see Genya shooting Urogi in the air. And I haven't talked about the OST for Sekido as well, which I think definitely has the best theme for the clones, with the girls' vocals is amazing. So here normally in the manga, Tanjiro is instantly saying the fan of Karaku is blowing the scent of the hot spring, so now we can smell where the real body of Hantengu is. In the anime, we do get an anime only content scene of actually Nezuko fighting against Karaku, and we see Karaku blowing his fan so that it can allow Tanjiro to use his scent to find the real body. When we see Hantengu hiding, the theme that we hear is exactly the same as the one that we heard from him in the Upper Moon meeting. So it's cool that Goshina is actually reusing the same theme sometimes, because this season we have almost every time a new OST, like every episode there's new OST, so it's cool to see one that we already heard this season. Again, here we get some new clash that's not in the manga of Tanjiro against Urogi. Definitely here one of the best sequence of Sekido and his lightning with the slow-mo here. It looks so freaking good. Really cool sequence here of Urogi flying and then Karaku just popping out. That was really cool. I love how fast they seem in that scene. Amazing. Now here when Nezuko gets impaled by Aizetsu, normally in the manga we just continue with the fight. You know, Nezuko gets impaled through the tree and then Sekido tries to use his lightning, but Tanjiro stops him. But in the anime we actually are getting a new anime only content scene where we switch back to Gyoko and Moichiro. Now I'm not exactly sure what this scene really does, to be honest. It doesn't really bring anything. Moichiro is basically trapped in the pot again. He tries to break the pot a little bit, but it doesn't work, but he seems calm. And then Gyoko is just kind of taunting him, saying you're gonna die, you can't breathe and everything. I think that was maybe just to fill in the gaps with the time and stuff, maybe just to keep us updated on what's going on with Moichiro Tanjiro, so I don't think that brings much, you know, they didn't need to put that in, but it's fine. And now this is where we go back just like where we were in the manga of Tanjiro stopping Sekido because he wants to crucify Nezuko. He said not today. So here it's interesting that they did the choice to, when Tanjiro does his attack, it's still Nezuko's blood demon art, like the pink fire, which is surprising because I thought it would just be like sun breathing. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I guess the sword of Tanjiro really absorbed like the blood demon art, and so now when he does his attacks, there's still kind of the power of Nezuko on the blade because it's still red because of Nezuko's blood. It kind of makes a little bit of sense, but I didn't expect that at all, but it still looks really good, so who cares. The mark looks super good with the red. It's glowing just a little bit, but it looks really good. And I love how Sekido here is just, he sounds like so panicky and stuff because of Tanjiro just getting stronger and stronger as the fight goes on, and he's kind of panicking a little bit. You can hear it in his voice, and I love that they're really adapting the manga well, just like this shot of Nezuko in the manga where, you know, she has no pupil and her face is just blacked out, like she looks really demonic, and I love that they kept this in the anime. It really gets my hopes up for the future because there's a lot of future panel that looks like this, so I do hope they still keep this style of Gotoge. And here again the blood demon art looks amazing. The hug of death from Nezuko with her blood demon art, it must be so painful. Now we see this shot. We've seen that in one of the trailers back in December. I'm pretty sure in the trailers, first of all, the red of the blood and his eyes especially weren't as glowing as this. They were more tame, and the most important thing is that in the trailer his blade wasn't red, so they basically just took the red out of the trailer and they just put his normal blade, but here we actually see it's red. It looks so much better, just so that in the trailer people don't get spoiled and stuff, and they did do that for another shot at the end of this episode as well. Now this is where we see the little Hantengu, which is so funny. The man is so small. They did exactly as in manga. The whole sequence of Genya trying to find the little Hantengu and Tanjiro guiding him is exactly as in manga. Here in the anime they did add this kind of comedic shot which is not in the manga, which I was surprised that they did put some. I mean, the way he runs, Hantengu runs after that, is so comedic and funny that I'm not even mad about them doing this comedic shot. It is still surprising because normally Ufotable are not doing those type of like comedic faces if it's not in the manga. And by the way, the little Hantengu is CGI. I can't tell. The CGI is so good that I can't tell if he's always CGI, but this whole sequence of him running is so funny, man, with the CGI. By the way, can we all agree that Genya with the yellow tips and his hair and just the color of his eyes is so badass? Like, it looks so good. I'm really happy that they did choose to make his tips yellow just like in the cover in the manga. And let's get this out of the way already. Like, Genya's voice actor is definitely the best of this season in my opinion already. Like, he has the best performance in terms of voice acting. Can we all agree? And just before we cut to the eye catchers, we get exactly as in the manga where Genya thinks he's about to die from Sekido. Now the eye catcher here for Tanjiro is not anything in the manga, it's just kind of a random shot of Tanjiro. And then this one of Genya is basically the cover for chapter 114. Young Genya looks so innocent, man. After the eye catcher, we go back to Genya's backstory where he's talking about his mom, and here we get some still shots, just the exact still shots from the manga. Here where we see Genya's father being just a dickhead. He's just, you know, I love that they kept his legs like from the manga. My man has some calves, it's insane. His legs are massive. After this here we do get some anime only content of Genya and Sanemi sleeping with all his siblings. Sanemi is like, you gotta stay here, I'm gonna look for mom, you remember our promise. And basically we just see Genya going out to trying to find his mom. And I really love this because it does make the backstory seem flowing better, and it doesn't seem too rushed, and we do get to see all of his siblings, so when they do get killed it's more impactful. And you know, just seeing their relationship, seeing them all talking to Genya seeming like, you know, the older brother, and you can really feel the connection between them. And then we go back where we are in the manga with Genya and all of his siblings waiting for Sanemi and his mom to come back. And I love that they added this where here we can see their mom outside of the window. We can just see like her shadow. It's so kind of creepy. I think that's a really cool touch that they added here. And then here when their mom just comes in and just kills them all in one slash is so impactful with the glass, the sound effects, and the voice acting of Genya, which is amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for more for this backstory, really. They did this backstory perfectly, even better because of the anime only content that they did add. And we can see as well Genya getting a scar, and her mom, how she looks with the red eyes is so good. It's so good. And I didn't talk as well, but Sanemi's voice is so funny because he has almost the same voice as right now. But what I love about it is it does feel like he's really the older brother, you know. In my opinion, this is like the best looking shots from the whole episode is with Sanemi and the sun coming up and his mom and everything. The compositing at his best, at his finest, I don't know. And with the voice acting as well of Genya, it makes the scene so depressing and sad. The music that goes with it, perfect. Especially the music that goes with when Genya is talking about Sanemi and how Sanemi probably felt when he did had to kill his mom. It's definitely the best OST from the episode for me. Like, how the hell are they making this shot look so good with the sun? Like, look at the clouds, how realistic they look. And yeah, I don't know, man, Ufotable sometimes are smoking some good stuff. Love that they kept the dialogue exactly as in the manga with Sanemi and Genya's promise. And again, the voice acting of Sanemi sounds so good. They kept the smile of Sanemi, which kills me every time I see it. Because, I mean, if you know Sanemi, yeah, it's tough to see him with a smile like that. And here where we see Sanemi talking, it does look a little bit different from when we saw him in season 1. I think one is his eyes. In season 1 there was some black lines in his eyes to make him look less kind of human and more broken. Here it's just purple. And his scars looks a little bit more smooth as well. I don't know if this is just because it's from the perspective of Genya or he's actually gonna look like this in the future. Love the scene of Tanjiro saving Genya, you know, with the red blade, the sun breathing kind of blood demon art of Nezuko looks amazing. The sound effect as well, they are using kind of the same sound effect of season 2 episode 10 when Tanjiro cut Gyutaro's head. Last episode when Tanjiro went crazy with the sun breathing, we heard the sound effect which was the same as when he killed Gyutaro, and again here the same sound again, so I'm thinking they're definitely using this sound now for when he does use a sun breathing attack, which is really cool because I love the sound effect. And again, this is the same thing that we saw with Nezuko. They're adapting the manga perfectly. I love that they kept the same face as in the manga for Aizetsu here with no mouth and the lines and no pupil. I really do hope so that they keep doing this and adapt the face like this perfectly. So now we finally see Aizetsu's blood demon art, which looks like the one that Daki kind of used in the entertainment district for the first time with like her pink slashes. It kind of looks the same. Interesting that they did kind of the same thing as Sekido where it switched between blue and red. I thought it would be only blue. I guess they decided to do red as well. I would have liked only blue, but it's fine, it still looks amazing, so whatever. And the music here with Genya basically saving Tanjiro is my second favorite of the episode. I do hope they're gonna reuse this kind of music for Genya in the future because it's definitely my favorite music of Genya. It's kind of a Genya theme a little bit. A cool little detail as well that I like is that we can see Genya's blood stopping, so the blood loss is stopping to show us that he's starting to regenerate, that he's going to regenerate. So here just before Aizetsu starts to attack we see the blood stopping, which is a cool detail. Here normally in the manga where Tanjiro is about to go to cut Hantengu's head, in the manga Sekido uses his lightning, but here in the anime Tanjiro does not get attacked by lightning, no whatsoever, so... But I guess it does kind of make sense that there's no lightning attack from Sekido, because if you know next episode with what's about to happen, it doesn't really make sense for Sekido using an attack, because we know he's gonna do something else. Or maybe they'll add the lightning at the start of next episode, but I doubt it. We see here again Hantengu running, so funny, man. Like, it's just the way he runs, and even the sound of his footstep and the way, or his voice, he sounds like he's kind of laughing and crying at the same time, is just so funny. And this is where the episode ends, where we kind of get an anime only content kind of scene where we can see the foot of Tanjiro, like him really getting into a good stance and getting a good base so that he can swing his artist. And then we get this shot of Tanjiro again, which we've seen in the trailers, but they did the same thing here in the trailer. His blade is just normal, but here in the anime they did add the red glow on his sword. But other than that, the shot looks pretty much the same as the one that we got in the trailer. And what's interesting is that we got this shot in the trailer like a year and 2 months ago, so that means that they already had done episode 6, so they were at least already working on episode 7 a year and 2 months ago. So I don't know how far they're into the production. I'm pretty sure they're already working on season 4 if we get to season 4, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're basically almost already done with the Ashura training arc. Sure, they might be only working on the pre-animation, but still, I think they're really advanced in terms of the production, which is a good thing to know. And they end basically the episode here with Tanjiro about to swing, and we see his blade turning into Nezuko's blood demon art, basically. So an amazing episode. I would give it like a 8.5 out of 10. I mean, I loved the backstory, was done perfectly. Sad, the music, again, amazing. For the action that we got, it was really good. I really loved the direction of the episode. It seemed really, the characters seemed fast and it didn't seem slow, unlike episode 4 for example. Now for next episode, which is called Awful Villains, I'm expecting a pretty good staff for next episode. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like from now on we should get some really good stuff for the episodes. Next episode shouldn't have much action, but there is Zoakuten's entrance, and then we'll probably see Moichiro get out of the water prison pot, and maybe we'll get Moichiro's mark and his backstory. I do hope so, so hopefully we cover 3 chapters. I'm gonna guess that we'll end the episode with Moichiro getting his mark, so don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my reaction to episode 7 Awful Villains. It's gonna be a big episode, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed this type of content, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright,